Alright, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. I'm just gonna, get comfy real quick, because, I'm probably gonna be laying down this stream, since this is usually a pretty good game to lay down to. I have to be, the only streamer that, lays down while gaming, but hey, maybe I'm wrong or something, I don't know. Because I have my PC right next to my bed, so it's really convenient. Alright, so I figured out why the game looked gross last time. It's because of the fact that apparently 1080p kind of makes the graphics look a little too sharp for my liking, which is really weird. Apparently, I set the resolution to 720, and it kind of smooths out the graphics a bit, which I don't know how that works, man. It's really weird. Anyways, get my controller ready. It's tangled with the mouse right now. That's annoying. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, good, good. Alright, now we can continue. Also, the game audio is very appropriate. It's the right volume. So anyways, we pick up pretty much where we left off. I did let the text start, so there is that, but all it says is 22nd November, 11:38 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. Bro, Ryunosuke, get your heart out of there, bro. Come on. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Haha. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Oh yeah. Maybe I'll put the mic right here. It's not too close to me, but whatever. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Is the doctor supposed to not have a period after the end? Or is that I don't know, is that a British thing? Come on, man, I've always enjoyed this franchise. Just this game's getting good, and it's only the first case. I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. See, this is why we don't say gentlewomen and gentlemen. You know? It's too much of a mouthful to say. But I guess they wanted to be polite. They wanted to just call her a lady. Well, hey, I managed to get you into this franchise. That's cool. Did you see what happened with that? Because, you like your story games, Xenogears and stuff. No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, you're gotta rename his from Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's gonna rename himself to Bend Over. Bend over. I didn't have the time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective. He apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. You said sus. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Yeah, you can get into this series. It's not that hard. And I mean, hey, you know, if there's always there's always the Ace Attorney games on DS. You can always emulate them if you want the nice, like, graphics. So basically, if you want, like, the old-style graphics with, like, touchscreen stuff, you know, you play the games on DS. But if you want them to look, like, modern, then you play the HD trilogy on Steam, you know? It's up to you what you'd rather do. And then, I don't know how you're gonna play the 3DS games. That's gonna be... I mean, I guess you could technically play them on your homebrew 3DS, right? I was about to say, like, Sister doesn't run them very well, but no, you have a homebrew 3DS. I'm thinking from the stance of trying to, stream them, because I can't stream off my 3DS. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. I'm gonna guess it's Gramps. Yeah. Professor Migatoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yeah, my controller's not working. Yes. Seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. You know, this is one thing that I like about this game so far, is that they have, very dynamic, like... Because, you know, in the older Ace Attorney games, right? Most of the time, there's only, like, one character on screen at a time, right? But in this game, you know, they have, like, 2 characters on screen. It's kind of wild. It's reminding me of Neptunia a bit. Where the newer Neptunias have more characters. Oh, nice. Yeah, you might as well play Ace Attorney 1 first. Just go in order. Now, if you want my opinion, I'd say you should do the trilogy first, then do the 2 Edgeworth games, and then do Apollo Justice. It'll make more sense from a story standpoint if you do the Edgeworth games first, before Apollo Justice, even though that's not the order they came out in. It's because the Edgeworth games have nothing to do with Apollo Justice and the games after that. They're basically their own little thing. Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. Yeah, the series has a chronological order, kind of. Because, yeah. The Edgeworth games technically take place after Trials and Tribulations. So, that's probably the order you should play them in. Also, you're definitely going to want to emulate the Edgeworth games, because they have not been re-released. And also, the second game never got a translation. So, yeah, good luck. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at Yume. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see.
I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible.
Yeah, my controller keeps disconnecting.
Let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case.
Quash, not squash? Just quash.
But I have no doubt that your pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck.
Dude, he's got like a fucking Dr. Phil mustache. I just noticed that. Dr. Phil, is that you? It's like an SML where he's like, where did Dr. Phil go?
Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need.
Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once.
It's time. Let's get back to it, partner.
Who do you think you are, Yosuke? You can't be calling me partner all the time.
Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before these old fossils know what hit them.
Kazuma.
What?
Thank you, really.
What for?
Well, if you hadn't said you believed me then, I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now.
Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend.
Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial... Ooh. Weird graphical error there. He's really gonna give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial.
You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course.
Alright, we're going back to trial, lads. 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2.
The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Ouchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government.
Sorry.
Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. But you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down our nation founders.
Again, terribly sorry.
If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation.
He said bung.
Missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder, too. But staying here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. That's some big words right there.
Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth.
How did I said persuadance? That's a different word. Hold on, let me take a drink. I had some really good ice cream bars. I bought these double-decker ice cream bars. It's like vanilla on top and chocolate on bottom. And then, like, it's two different flavors of, like, sandwich, you know? Like, it's got brown, like a brown thing on top, but, like, a yellow on bottom. It's really cool. I don't know if they have those anywhere else. Double-deckered ice cream sandwiches. I've been kind of craving ice cream sandwiches for a few days now. So, yeah, I decided to buy them. And they've been really good so far.
With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett.
Yes. Your Excellency!
It's good to finally have an English name. Because I can't read. The hell?
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea? Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea.
Is that true?
No idea.
So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival.
Yes, we know about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first.
Is that true?
No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of.
Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I?
Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking.
Guilty.
So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
Look at the big funny hat. Dude, she's Haru from Persona 5. And I can't read handwriting.
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
Are they gonna... What is this? Is this what it means to speak British? Uh-huh, yeah.
The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yume University's medical facility.
Faculty, not facility. I keep misreading it. God damn it.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the delectable tones of the delightful language of the British people.
Dulcet? Yeah, the game looks a lot better now when I change the resolution. Holy shit. I can actually read the text for once.
I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as Hummingbird's song.
Dude, fucking Ao's just gonna be simping the whole time?
As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough.
Yes, I agree. Wait, is she not gonna speak English? Is she gonna be like that fucking kid in Apollo Justice? Who just speaks like that, like, weird language the whole time?
Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Cosima. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it?
It's kind of funny how we're in Japan and, like, we got English dialogue, but, like, she has, like, weird dialogue, even though she's from England. I wonder how that works in the Japanese version of the game. Like, is everything in Japanese, but she speaks in English? Is that how it works? I'd actually be curious to hear.
Nor you. You clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke.
The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand.
Yeah, let me put my phone in a better place.
Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett.
She's got like crazy curls, man. I would kill to have curls like that. I guess it's not. I guess it's always in the British blood, huh?
3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct?
So wait, I'm guessing like like technically, since if we're taking the original language into consideration, he would be speaking Japanese to her, maybe? Or no. He's speaking English to her from Japanese. And she's translating. She's saying English, and he's translating it back into Japanese. You know, like, that, what you call it? You know how, like, when, like, Japanese, you know, like when Miyamoto or whatever talks, right? And then, like, Bill Trinin's there, and he, like, translates or whatever? Yeah. She says yes. Well, that was a lot, just for the word yes.
This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese?
I'm guessing so. It's kind of confusing, but I can follow along with it. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately.
Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape.
I was just following special orders from the Bureau.
Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight.
Do you mean to say?
Guys, I don't know why, but whenever I do deep voices, I always yawn. I have no idea why. So, if I, like, am pausing for, like, 3 seconds, it's because I'm yawning, okay? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime.
The very moment when the accused, standing right here in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood?
Oh, wait, I read that in his voice. Oops.
Order. Order in the court.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is.
Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described.
How is this gonna work? Seriously, how is this gonna work? Also, how are like all the witnesses in like pairs? Because so far we haven't had like just one witness. Uh-huh. I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Are we gonna be able to press her dialogue and his dialogue? It's gonna be weird. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Yeah, he's got that big fancy hat, you know. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
This is a condemning testimony indeed.
No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this Snow White angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine those words. The court is going to believe. Ugh.
You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn.
Ugh, but he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go.
The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however.
Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. What about in that big fucking hat she has on? I would think she could have gone almost anywhere in that outfit if she'd wanted to.
Until the precise location where the witnesses to have a hidden weapon can be shown, this is moot.
We're gonna have to do one of those, like, police pat-downs, you know? There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. These are the witnesses' own words on the matter.
Ugh, that's ridiculous.
If I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Ryunosuke?
Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke.
But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day.
You're right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we'll need to pull her testimony apart.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon that day. Oh, Superintendent Chalmers.
Yes!
After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions in Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right?
Or en vogue? I don't know. Oh, she actually spoke English? No.
Ugh.
A decisive English no has quite a sting to it.
The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it is apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together.
But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first.
Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late.
Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?
Professor was unable to eat, so I ordered a beefsteak. Or no, it's a steak.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the haunted clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering?
Was Miss Brett aware of the fact?
It seems so, yes. She'd heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Man, she didn't get to eat like half her fucking steak, dude. What a waste. Man, and I made some hamburger helper tonight. And I put half that in the fridge, because I'm not wasting half hamburger helper. Damn. Exactly as it was left?
Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all?
That's right, other than some carbonated water.
Just water?
Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each.
They each raised a glass of carbonated water.
But there was only one glass of water. It's very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing,
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time's right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement be formally added to the testimony.
Well, sidestepped, counsel.
Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony.
Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Cosma. I'm gonna remember that one.
Which one?
Significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase.
I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke.
Okay. But, I kinda just want to press the other statements for fun. Because why not? The accused came over to greet the professor. They got into a fierce argument.
Yes!
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese.
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all supiku Englishu.
God. That's so racist, but I love it.
I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever. Orally in the presence of a beautiful woman, huh?
Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that'll unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna freak out over the fact that there was only one glass of water there instead of two.
Anyway, seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat.
That part ties in with what he said, doesn't it?
Yes, I still had some coffee to drink.
And the next time you got up after that?
Was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave.
Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes.
Yes! Like I said, I did not shoot that gun.
And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over.
Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes. There was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time. The highly... That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel! Dirty? Your baseless accusations can very well cause an international incident, boy.
Seems to me that your accusation's just as baseless as ours.
What nonsense.
The lady's merely stating what she saw.
And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Yes! It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it?
Absolutely. I verified it personally.
You verified it? You actually got the blue check mark?
Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I indistinctly remember her saying, "I'm not."
That's all you did? You just asked her?
Surely you carry out a physical search, Inspector.
No.
Why on earth not? The Honorable English Gentleman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into that matter.
Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps.
Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts.
In other words, he wants evidence.
The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave.
Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get that woman out of there.
Not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. That lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course.
Unlike a certain student who refused to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you.
I love how he just didn't react.
So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him.
Which is an in-and-out, totally unfounded lie.
Still, her statement's very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentleman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform.
I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. It's a headband? Come on, man.
Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is.
He's like fucking Solid Snake with those frickin' ribbons, dude.
If we can't do that, the trial is over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room.
Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either.
The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself, I promise you.
I need to expose the true face of the exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Well, let's go back to the one about the water. And the professor and I had to say cheers over a glass of carbonated water. But that's not true because there was only one glass of water. Right? There's only one glass of water there. Right?
Yes!
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd.
Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously, it's the cheers.
The cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor had cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1.
Oh. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection! Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over a minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, but maybe we'll find something.
Minutiae, you say?
Whatever that word means.
Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence?
Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try and tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Ooh, you're in trouble now.
Inspector, what did the lady say?
It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table.
What?
It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying.
Good gracious.
Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please.
We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes.
I mean, I guess it really is an unforgettable luncheon then, huh?
Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray?
That's probably gonna be the title, an unforgettable luncheon. I'm sure most people have made this joke already, but come on, I gotta. Hold on, let me write it down. Oh yeah. Alright, Zach said he's sending me the Dark Star video. good, good. So I've been trying to get that for a little bit now.
Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray?
That's absurd.
Oh, really? So do we take it that you're now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief?
What? No, no, no. This can't be put down into mischief.
I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene.
It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Here's the thing, right? Wouldn't that be considered, like, stealing from the frickin', like, stealing from the restaurant? You're stealing, like, the glasses from the restaurant. Wouldn't you have to, like, replace that or something? So, like, even if she wasn't the murderer, couldn't she be charged with, like, theft? Or do they not care about that in the 1800s? I don't know.
A handbag, you say?
Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass had absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing.
Ah, getting a nice draft wind from outside. Feels good.
No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already.
Indeed. The lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know, really.
If you want to pursue this matter further, you're gonna need to show that it has some deeper significance.
I don't know, maybe she, like, clonked him on the head or something with the glass. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's... maybe the handbag. Maybe she had the gun in there. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right.
Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
Yeah, let me take another drink break.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire the gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
Well, yeah, can't we check, like, that gun if it has ballistic markings? Or maybe they don't do that yet.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga,
Yes?
did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder?
No, sir. I did not.
As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
Order, order, order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at that time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Cosma?
Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police.
What?
As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary in what way?
I had to thank the student lawyer, really.
Oh god, the violin team is back.
I have a piece of evidence here that I'd completely forgotten about. This photographic print.
Eh?
This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never. You can see through to what's inside.
Oh shit, you're right. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment.
So the contents are clearly visible.
Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there'd been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ugh. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san.
Damn, he fucking hit the wall and everything.
Order, order! Inspector Osanaga, you'll submit that print as evidence at once.
Certainly, Your Excellency.
A photograph taken by Hosonaga-san. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair. Well, what if the gun went missing or something? I don't know.
I think you've have long enough to cross-examine the witness, Counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there's only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start.
Damn, even he's looking down.
Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke.
Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it?
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat. Beat your meat. You're wasting time. There's no way to defeat true justice. As a fact, you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. I'm really gonna be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers.
Fingers.
Kazuma.
What?
Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around?
You heard the judge.
There's nothing about that last photograph that detective produced that we can test. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue.
Very well. I'll now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little...
Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all the evidence placed before me...
Wait, Your Excellency. With Violentine came back, damn. They're not done yet.
Ryunosuke?
I don't think you can rule in this case yet.
This amateurish is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes! Yes, it is. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
That is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag of the gentlewoman that was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke.
I understand your objection, Counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
What about, like, the dude's hand? It looks like there's a crack in his hand or something.
Ha! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution's becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze, and I'm not Carl Wheezer. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it.
Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear?
Damn, that's a very foreboding, like, sprite of him. Or, well, not a sprite. You know what I mean. Yes, Your Excellency. I don't think the judge has ever done that before. Or a judge, you know?
So take another look at the photograph print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before.
Well, I mean... What about the crack in his hand? You know, there's like a crack, like, right here. What is this all about? Yes! Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you'd come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right.
Go on, Inspector.
The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. How come it wasn't in the post-mortem, like, notebook or whatever? It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark.
Yeah, what is that?
However, as Prosecutor Aoshi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn.
You'll get burned. Excuse me, Your Excellency. You see, Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady. She shan't hold you. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with the case?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful.
Yes, you're right.
I am?
If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Cancel. You can't possibly do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I cannot allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture.
But if we had evidence,
Evidence that irrefutably links the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it?
I would, yes.
To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face.
really? I have to find some link between the burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what the burn really means.
So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial.
Oh, what do we do? I can review scene. Okay. Well, we gotta find something that looks like that burn, right? Anything about the post-mortem report? Doesn't look like it. I don't really know. The photograph? Wait a minute, there's something in this picture. Look you see that right there? Yeah, that.
Yes!
That looks like something.
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little bit longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection! You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Well, obviously, it's this right here.
Yes! The beefsteak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on.
The plate? Oh!
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Oh. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn. Are exactly the same shape.
Ah!
Ryunosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means The victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Ooh, damn, yeah. That is pretty irrefutable, I'd say.
But even if that's the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It would have been the day before. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time.
Well, but when did he come to Japan? Or when did he come to Japan, though?
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim.
Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga?
I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not particularly a large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure.
Can you be more specific, Inspector?
Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds.
It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then.
I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day...
That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
Let me take another drink. And the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer. We're going for an hour, 8 minutes, okay. All of us, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Ouchie?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream?
Maybe he was already dead.
I almost didn't believe it. Yo, Ryunosuke, do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation.
Counsel, are you suggesting?
Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already?
Dead?
Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When
beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day. The professor was already dead.
That's madness.
Ooh, banger music again.
Order, 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 please. Council, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student. But clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchie. It's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while in the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it.
Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency?
Oh, the judge is on our side now. Nice.
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Like, I noticed Rianos starting to, like, gain some composure. His, like, posture's changing. What was that smile?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours.
Ugh.
Miss Brett, you speak Japanese?
Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you on your own level.
Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I'll now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson.
So, we're finally gonna hear our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. They sure are, man. So what's the waiter gonna be doing here? Is he just gonna stand there now?
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life had been taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
And we're getting different music, too. I'm sure by the time I'm done playing this game, the testimony music will definitely, like... I'll definitely like it a lot more. But so far, I don't know, I'm not feeling it as much as other games.
That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Thank you.
Easy does it.
I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
Oh, not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of all the victims burned is utterly irrelevant.
I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today.
The Minister of Justice?
May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen.
Thanks. Was that a prayer then?
Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I'll be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
What the fuck?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination.
Alright, we get to hear from Lady Luck herself. The victim's death.
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing hot place for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed.
Do you think so? Let me ask you something.
Sorry?
Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You cannot have noticed, can you?
Huh? What? Ah!
Ha! What fun! You hadn't realized.
The dear lady is absolutely right.
As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well yourself, Ryunosuke.
Why didn't you tell me?
Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't.
Anyway, when the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast.
Yes!
Well, we already know what happened to the glass, I guess.
As you testified before, you're drinking carbonated water, is that right?
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Although,
Although?
Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. I mean, does it really matter if he drank the water or not? It's like, oh wow, she's the murderer because he didn't drink the water.
Damn you.
Ah, I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefits of other in the court, it means bless you.
I think it means the exact opposite. It's really funny that since it's in English, though. It's like when Ryuji was like, I don't need to know English, even though he's like speaking English in the dub. It's funny. It's really funny.
Anyway,
No other cause of death. Well, let me check. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. was caused by a loss of blood from a gunshot. guess that's still true, yeah.
Yes!
Is Ryunosuke gonna say anything else besides yes? Yes! Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma.
Yes.
Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't gonna kill us. And as there are no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter.
Yes, that's true. If it had been cooled slightly, it wouldn't have been able to burn like that.
And if the victim burned his wrist on a hot plate as soon as it was brought from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right.
Ugh. There's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace.
Yes!
Maybe the glass, I don't know. Without leaving a trace.
If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. Maybe he got paper cut to death.
There would be physical trace with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
Like what?
If heaven forbid you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your arguments fall rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought. Calling such a sweet young lady innocence into question? Oh, on my honor, I, Takesuchi Ouchie, will cut down any who dare cast any aspersions. Aspersions? No, I don't know, I haven't heard that word in a while.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here.
Yes, evidence.
But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Yes!
So I'm guessing I probably gotta present on the fourth statement? Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Oh, why do you react like that?
It doesn't even occur to your native detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. You understand?
A killer blow. The lady is formidable as she is beautiful.
Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie's finally starting to see sense.
I very much doubt that.
Still, there's something about what Miss Bretz just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right.
What do you think, Ryunosuke?
I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information.
Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony and the cross-examination will be over.
But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a clink in her armor. Kazuma,
What, Ryunosuke?
there is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me.
Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett?
Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga.
Detective?
Yeah, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe.
Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time.
If you think so, but
this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective.
oh wow, this is new. Alright then, I wonder what Cosmo's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on our last statement again. Do you ever have to do this in the original trilogy? Or the original games? Okay.
Yes!
Wait.
Wait. Yeah, that right there. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction just the same as before. Why?
Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity.
What do you mean? Maybe he was, like, translating incorrectly.
When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful to not let anything slip. However,
It slipped, Daddy.
when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down.
You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts.
It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought.
Sorry? Pursue?
I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker.
What marker?
At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement.
Oh, this is a brand new game mechanic. Cool.
But by moving the marker left and right with you can turn your attention to other people in the stand.
Does that mean there's gonna be like 5 people on stand at some point? And I gotta pay attention to like 4 other dudes?
While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around.
Alright then.
So first I should move the marker across with and then focus on the detective. Then pursue him with and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
Wait. Why is it? There we go. Okay. So I can pursue.
Excuse me!
Excuse me? What the? Did it auto advance? It just auto advanced. Like, I didn't get to read any of that. Hang on. It says, excuse me. He screamed, and he said,
What the? What's the meaning of this?
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply.
You looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say.
If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this?
Is this our new ability for the game?
It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not.
Huh?
The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he's immediately involved with the case.
Inspector Hosonaga,
Yes?
do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett?
Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. Oh god, the violin squad is back. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as they are in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless.
What do you really mean by that?
I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done.
Crime scene thief?
Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touch a nerve there.
Take this, for example. There's the glass.
Is that...
This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes, there's something left in the bottle. I can see it.
One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I can guarantee it.
I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence.
Ooh, we got the water. Bottle of water. The carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table.
Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Professor and I raise our glasses. Maybe we present the glass bottle? Well, can we examine the bottle? The carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared, it was on the victim's table. Well, let's check what the bottle says. The label's written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Cosma?
I think it's French. This must be very expensive water.
Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking.
Then go to France and ask.
You could just say that you don't know. Well, what about the bottom? Oh, wait a minute, what's this? So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had.
Looks like there's little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now.
You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, don't do that. You're tampering with the evidence.
No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that.
For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we?
You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke.
worked more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water?
What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, maybe he poisoned the water. I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Can we, like, look inside the bottle? Oh, okay. Is that all? Oh, that's the water itself. Okay, yeah, so that's the same. Bling, bling. Okay, I was just checking. What if we present the bottle now?
Yes!
Oh shit, I didn't mean to, wanted to keep the chat on.
What is this? The bottle of water?
Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison?
Man, I didn't even think about that. I thought she just, like, hit him over the head with the glass. But I guess, yeah, poisoning the water would make sense. It's like fucking case 3 from Trial and Tribulations all over again. On the day of death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Actually, it's not bottle of water, it's bottle of water. You gotta say it like that. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? That could be possible.
Order, order, order!
And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you.
Objection!
But we have not heard about this poison until now.
This is outrageous. To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you ever considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we only have just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like, I don't know. That's like if you, it's like it doesn't matter if he's black or not. If he killed a dude, you know, you still gotta arrest him.
Yeah.
If I may,
I will silence you forever for this disgraceful...
it is you who should be silent.
Of course. Dear lady?
Where did that come from? She just snapped.
She said, "Shut up." I'm afraid I've spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring?
I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not.
Of course.
You did?
I've forgotten what my guiding principle is already.
I strive for a flawless investigation every time.
I don't believe it.
Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents.
And? What did you find, Inspector?
I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency,
What if it was like British poison then?
What? Are you sure?
The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself.
No!
I am very grateful to all of you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
Oh, but of course, dear lady. The pleasure was all ours.
I was so sure.
Dude, this can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned.
Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for.
The court wishes to apologize for the great inconveniences caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter's resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point?
Kazuma? Damn, we're both clueless.
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
No, don't leave. We're not done yet.
Hold it!
Who said hold it? It was you.
Please wait.
Isn't that?
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikitoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Mikitoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. In her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Furoshiki. Say it right, bro. To be continued? What? There's more to case 1? Oh my god. I didn't know there was gonna be another part of this case. Oh, I guess let's make another save file then. Part 3. There's a part 3 to this? Jesus, this is the longest first case I think we've ever had in an Ace Attorney game. Am I right? I think so. God damn, okay. Well, alright, guys. Ugh, let me get up. How long have I been recording for? An hour 43. Okay, not bad, not bad. I didn't have to take a piss break this time, so that's good. Alright, well, with that being said then, make sure to like and subscribe, as always, to me on YouTube and twitch.tv/minusbros. And, I guess in the next episode, we'll, do more of this case. When am I going to be playing this game again? Because I don't know... Oh, yeah, Thursday. I can do it Thursday. Easy. Easy, easy. 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 Okay. Neptune, you're supposed to come in, bro.
Easy!
There we go. Alright, so yeah, I guess we'll play more of this tomorrow then. Sounds good to me. Alright, I hope it wasn't too quiet. I might up the gain a little bit next time. Especially since, you know, I'm laying down. But, yeah. So, if I am bored tonight, I might do some SMBX. I wanted to do some last night, but I got too addicted to editing, and I was also getting really comfy, so yeah. So, yeah, if I have more time, I'll do more SMBX. And then tomorrow, we're gonna get to check out the new Mario Kart tracks. And then we get to do more of this game later on that day. So that's going to be exciting. Alright, so I'm going to go for now. So I'll see you guys then. So bye.